Hi everyone. One of the biggest questions I get asked is, how exactly do I get started in personal finance? I just graduated or just got my first job and I have no idea what to do next. The first thing you should do is subscribe to my channel and watch these videos to get a good idea about how to save and invest. The next best thing you can do is actually find a guide online. And luckily for us, over the course of internet's short history, folks have managed to crowdsource a bunch of modern knowledge when it comes to personal finance. And you can find this on Reddit. Right? For those of you who've never heard of Reddit before, Reddit is just another social media platform, and it just happens to be really good at building communities around certain specific topics, personal finance being one of the biggest ones. The first thing you'll notice when you look at this guide is that there are so many topics, and because personal finance is so complicated, it's different for different ages, it's different depending on the person you are and depending on your own financial situation. But luckily for us, this guide will address most of these situations. It's not perfect, right? You always want to supplement this guide with other opinions, either from friends and family who've been in similar situations or financial experts. At the very least, it'll help you start off, right? Kick you off in your research to find out and figure out if you're heading down the right path and asking the right questions. If you are a college graduate, check out the link that is associated for your age, right? If you are closer to retirement, check out those links. The goal of this is to sort of provide you with knowledge at the right moment when it comes to personal finance. Now, even with a guide, right, like I mentioned, it's not going to have everything. You're going to have very particular situations that might not be relevant. You really want to treat Google as your best friend. And a lot of folks, the problem that they run into with Google is that they don't know what the search terms are. Right? They type in the search terms and they don't get the results that they're looking for. Well, hopefully with the guide, you can really figure out what exactly the topic that you're looking for and what particular question you're trying to ask. And I know it's still difficult, even with all of that. Right? If you have no clue, no idea, right, it doesn't hurt to ask. Right? You can ask me. If you don't know what to Google for or look for, you can ask me. Best to always do your own research before you go to a professional, just so you know exactly what they're talking about and you save money for yourself. Personal finance is personal, but it doesn't have to be. Right? There are other folks who've experienced similar situations as you financially, and it pays to talk to your coworkers, to talk to your friends and families. Right? Assuming they're in a good financial situation themselves. If they're not, maybe don't take advice from them. But if they are, it's going to be very valuable for you to really understand where it's coming from. A good example is that when I was first negotiating, I talked to a coworker about it, right? And he really guided me through how exactly to negotiate. I had all the writings, I had all the readings, I had a script, but sometimes you need that extra little push, right? That extra guidance from someone who has done it before. So I definitely encourage you to do that. And if you have no one to talk to, your friends and family are not in a good place, then feel free to reach out to me. Chances are I'm willing to talk for a bit, right? To really understand what your situation is and help you think through it. I might not have the right answer for you, but so I can sort of help you brainstorm. I can help you plan a path forward to get to that answer. But with all of that, if you still want to keep personal finance very personal, you can still look up Reddit. It does have a great community when it comes to personal finance. You can ask questions on it and get responses from folks you don't know, right? It's completely anonymous. It's more of like, hey, if you have something to share, if you have something to assist and help out with, or you have a question, feel free to communicate on the platform. And you'll see a lot of questions and responses here, and just even sharing victories as well, right? So it's very important to find a community, any community at all, because you don't want to tackle personal finance alone, especially if you don't have a background or don't come from a wealthy background. It's good to talk to people. It's good to talk to people about personal finance, but you still want to make sure that things you're talking about, the facts that you're coming upon, the opinions that you're coming upon, and the data that you're looking at is accurate. You can go to government-funded sites to help improve financial literacy to make sure that you understand what's going on. And these sites usually could be the irs.gov if you have questions about taxes, right? Or even the CFPB site, which stands for Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. And they'll have a whole bunch of topics and a whole bunch of tools for you to go through. The difficulty here is that it's not in a guide sort of format. That's where Reddit has an advantage to walk you through each of these steps. But CFPB is a great place to just confirm your findings, right? Make sure that, hey, is it accurate? Is it something that I can trust? And so on. If you went through all of this, right? You went through the Reddit guide, you even went through the flowchart on Reddit, which is a hidden gem that most people don't know about, which I will attach somewhere here so you can see it. The flowchart basically walks you through when you start on your financial journey all the way to the end. And there's some free forming toward the end, because once you have a lot of money, You can do a lot more things with it. You went to the Reddit Q&A sections and you checked out IRS, you checked out CFPB. You don't really know what's happening. There's too much jargon. You don't want to deal with it, which is a fair point, right? Not everyone wants to spend their evenings or weekends like me looking into personal finance and really understanding the topics. If that's not you, that's completely fine, right? But you do have to make sure that your personal finances are taken care of. And in this case, you have a couple of options. You would want to check with your company, see if your company actually provides you with financial planning services as part of your compensation. Right? My company does do this. So you want to talk to your HR, ask them, hey, do you have anything like this? Do you have any benefits related to financial planning? And if they do, they'll set you up with someone so you could talk to, they can help you plan for your financials. If your company doesn't do that, it's unfortunate, but there are other things, right? You can hire your own financial professional. Just make sure that you find someone that's fee only, which means they pay by the hour or pay by the task, and is fiduciary, which means you are their primary stakeholder and they're responsible for your interests. Right? For someone who's not fiduciary, might recommend financial products that you don't need just because they'll get a kickback if they sell it to you. Right? For example, a lot of financial advisors love to sell insurance because they'll get a kickback for selling you insurance. Maybe you don't even need it. A lot of folks do need insurance. It depends, right? Most of the times it's life insurance and disability insurance and so on. Just make sure that the financial advisor has you as their top interest and not themselves or these other companies. It doesn't even have to be for that long, right? Just hire them for an hour or two to answer that specific question that you either don't understand or don't have time to plan for. Right? They'll do all the research and they'll just provide you with the next best steps and ideally justify why those are the next best steps with data. Well, let's say you don't have money for a financial advisor, which is a possibility. And in that case, consider looking into free services. Depending on where you are, the city, the state that you're in, there might be free services when it comes to financial planning. Or check out your local library. I used to live in New York City and the Brooklyn Public Library did have free financial planning services. I believe it was on a weekly basis, right? You come in, you schedule an appointment, and you talk to a financial professional about what you're thinking about financial planning and if your plan sounds legitimate and how can you improve it. There are a bunch of free public services out there. Just take a look on your state website or your city website and see if they offer it. Let's walk through a confusing topic that a lot of people ask me about. And I don't even know that much about it, but I figured it's a good chance to walk through it. A lot of folks talk about whole life insurance versus term life insurance. If you don't know what those terms are, that's great. This is what we're going to walk through in the example. One thing you can check is the Reddit guide. What exactly is life insurance? Right? It gets paid out upon your death to someone you designate as the beneficiary. Right? What's the difference between whole life and term life? Chances are your friends, some of them probably do have whole life insurance and term life insurance, and you should ask them about it. Some of them might have it and they don't even know about it because their company provides it as part of the benefits. And if your company provides it as part of the benefits, reach out to HR, ask them about it. So there's going to be a lot of ways to learn more about it, especially if you want to interact with a human versus just reading up online. And then you can start thinking about, do I need to reach out to a financial professional about this? And really figure out which one do I need and the pros and cons of both. Right? When you reach out to a financial professional, just make sure again that they're fee only and they're fiduciary. The goal of this is really to figure out, hey, can anyone walk me through the life insurance without trying to sell me life insurance? The second your financial advisor tries to sell you life insurance, you're on the wrong path. You're working with the wrong financial advisor, especially if they're going to get a kickback from it, right? And you should ask, right, are you going to make some money off of me by selling me life insurance? Are you going to make more money? Because it's not, it might not be in your best interest to have life insurance. You want to talk to someone that's unbiased, an unbiased financial professional, and they do exist. Don't talk to someone that sells life insurance because they're going to try to sell you life insurance, which may or may not be in your best interest. If they don't tell you the pros and cons, they don't know what they're talking about, because every financial product out there has pros and cons, right? There's nothing that has only pros because then everyone will be invested in it and everyone will be contributing to it and they will make a whole bunch of money. Right? That's not how personal finance works. Inherently, when it comes to investing, when it comes to even insurance, right, or a financial product, there's going to be some risk involved, and you really want to understand the pros and cons of it. There's no such thing as a financial product with no cons. And lastly here is that you want to consider your own financial situation, which can be difficult, right? It's not going to be the same as your friends or family. That's why it's important to have either yourself fully understand your personal financial situation or a financial expert to do so. Now, this entire video, I talked about how you can basically stop watching my videos in a sense, right? I taught you how to research, how to find more information, and don't get me wrong, My videos could be part of research, right? Just don't make it your only research. Find out, understand, look at my data, look at my sources, and really understand where I'm coming from. The whole goal of this channel is to increase financial literacy and for you to do your own research. And the second I can close down this channel because I finished my job, that's great. Or I just do this as a hobby on the side, right? Then I've completed my mission. Right? The real goal here is to make sure that everyone has a true understanding of their own personal finances and how to achieve their financial goals, whatever those may be. All right, good luck out there, and thanks for watching.